we are live. Woohoo! So today we are going to be talking about online business, mindset, and stop saying I can't and believe that you are. We're going to be talking about some heavy topics and trying to figure out how to bust you out of the place that you're in that you don't want to be in anymore so that you can be successful with your online business, making money online, however that might look for you. So I want to help as many people be successful as possible. So if you are catching this on the replay and you have any questions or comments, put them in there. I will watch them and address them. And for those of you who might not know who I am, hi, I'm Colleen Ducharme, as my name says. I am a licensed therapist, life coach, personal professional development for over 20 years. And bringing the show online, woohoo, since May 2021. That's a brief introduction for me. Let's get to it. All right, so online business, mindset, the intersection of both, why you need to be doing both at the same time, why it's hard to do both of them at the same time, because you are in the habit of saying, I can't. And that is probably one of the biggest corrections I do when I work with people and reframe their mindset is when you say you can't, that means you are making a choice not to. Let me say that again. When you say I can't, blah, 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 whatever it's followed up with, you are making a choice not to. There are things in life that you probably can't do. You can't jump in a rocket ship and go to the moon. All right, so we don't need to get ridiculous. You know what I mean. When you say I can't create content, you're choosing not to. I can't write emails. You're choosing not to. I can't lose weight. You're choosing not to, unless you have a medical reason. It reminds me of a quote, whether you say I can or can't. You're right. Exactly, Ian. Absolutely. So Ian just shared on TikTok, reminds him of a quote, whether you say you can or you can't, you're right either way. When you say you can't do something, you are making a choice not to do it. Yes. Bottom line, you are making a choice. Now, the reasons why you're making that choice are different for everyone, but we're really not all that unique. So there are similar reasons. So if you find yourself saying I can't a lot, that means that you are stuck in the shoes of self-judgment. You are judging your abilities. You are judging your ability to overcome anything you want to overcome in life, to achieve whatever goal you set out to achieve. So for instance, when I first started online business, my head felt like it was going to explode. Prior to that, I didn't do anything online. I barely knew how to create a group text message in my phone. Legit, not lying. I had no interest in technology. I'm a very simple person. I like to live in the moment. I did not have much use for technology. I had never even been on YouTube. May 2021, I had never even been on YouTube. Didn't even know how to get on YouTube. Not exaggerate. So when I started the online business, I was faced with all of these technologies that is recommended that you use. Come to find out, I didn't really need them, but that's another story. However, if I had said to myself, now trust me, I pissed and moaned about the technology. I still to this day, someone tells me I can use an app or a system or something like that. I'm like, ugh, technology. But I don't sit in the seat of self-judgment anymore and tell myself I can't do this. I'm like, oh, I prefer not to. I prefer not to put my energy into another system. But if it's going to make my life simplified, if it's going to help me stay organized, if it's going to help like my efficiency, then damn, I'm going to learn how to use that new system. So that was the one thing I had to overcome a lot when I first started my online business was all of this new stuff that I don't even know the language. I had to figure out what the hell they were even talking about. I spent more time on Google asking questions about what this meant so that I could actually understand what they were saying. Talk about frustrating. But I didn't sit in the seat of I can't, so I didn't sit in the seat of self-judgment. I knew I could. I knew it was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be frustrating, and it was frustrating. Less frustrating now when one of my coaches, Lipper Nate, recommends I use a technology. I'm like, bleh, technology? All right, I'll give it a try. Sometimes I'm like, no, I don't want to use that. But again, when you're sitting saying, I can't do something, it is your choice to not do it because you're sitting in the seat of self-judgment. You are downplaying and talking yourself out of succeeding because of blah, blah, blah. You fill in the blanks. Usually it's fear of the unknown. It could be if you try something and you fail, then you're fearing to feel stupid. Do you know how many times I created things and I'm like, All right, sweet. This should work. Click. Why isn't it working? I followed all the steps. Why isn't it working? Because I forgot one step. You go back and you do it again. But you know the beautiful part of something not working the first time when you do it is you can go back and retrace your steps and be like, oh, that's right. I forgot step M. I got to go back and do step M. And yep, it works. Yay. So then you build up your confidence. So then you start to get out of sitting in the seat of self-judgment. The I can't turn into I don't know how to use this, but I can learn. It takes a lot of retraining your brain because instantly when we're faced with something, for the most part, when we're faced with something that is new, that is unknown, you're like, oh, I can't do that. If you see a beautiful painting and you're like, I can't draw that, you can draw that. You may not be able to draw it and have it look like the portrait you're looking at or the painting you're looking at because maybe that person has been painting for 20 years. Maybe that person has been instructed by artists. Maybe that person knows proper brush technique. Maybe that person knows proper median intermixing. Maybe that person knows how to do, and yes, I know how to paint. That's why I know a little bit about it. Maybe that person knows a little bit about contrast layering and color layering and how to make other colors shine while other colors seem dim. So maybe you don't know how to do all of that, but you can pick up a paintbrush, you can pick up a canvas, and you can paint. So there's a difference between understanding your skill set versus saying, I can't do that. I'm covered in tattoos, covered, head to toe, covered. Not every inch of my skin, but I'm covered to tattoos. I keep begging my tattoo artist to let me tattoo him, and he's my cousin. And his boss, I keep trying to get him to let me tattoo him. I'm like, I just want to do a line. They freaking won't let me. They won't let me. And I don't understand why. I beg them every single time. I've been begging them for years. Just let me do a tattoo. I want to see what it's like to do a tattoo. They won't let me. So that doesn't mean that I can't give someone a tattoo. It just means that in order for me to do that, I need to learn. I need to learn on pigskin. I need to learn on fake skin like they do. I need to learn the depth of the needle. I need to learn how to color, how to shade, like all that stuff. I might not be able to do it today because they tell me no, but it doesn't mean that I can never do it if it's something I chose to do. Now, if you're sitting, for instance, like I say you're working and you have your workplace set up and it's a mess and you have this over there and you have that over there and you have this over there and you're saying to yourself like, I just can't stay organized. You can stay organized. You can find a simple system that works for you. You can find it. You are choosing to not stay organized. Maybe organizational skills is something that you have a little bit of difficulty with, depending on what's going on up here medically, neurologically. Some people legitimately have a hard time maintaining organization. Doesn't mean they can't do it. Doesn't mean they can't do it. It means they're choosing not to, but they're sitting in a seat of self-judgment and saying, I can't stay organized. I can't stay organized. You can. It requires learning. So if you have a neurological thing going on that makes concentration a little bit harder, that makes organizational skills a little bit harder, it doesn't mean that you can't learn. It just means you need to learn the system that's going to work for you. Now, maybe you need to learn different systems because maybe if you have a neurological thing going on, you get bored doing the same thing over and over again. And then that's when everything goes to shit and disorganization happens. And then you're like, I can't stay organized, man. And you're chasing your tail around and around. But if you find the right system that works for you, that can't turns into, I can. It's hard. It's something I need to stay on top of. It's something I need to make sure that I'm constantly practicing, but I can. So you're getting out of that seat of self-judgment. Now, staying organized as you're building an online business is extremely important because if you're constantly looking through papers and going back to the courses and trying to figure out where you saw something, you're going to get super frustrated. So here is a tip for everyone who is building an online business. Rather than, and I'm a fan of pen and paper, I'm old school fan of pen and paper, but rather than using your brain energy to take notes, verbatim notes or whatever, you're never going to look at those again. You're never going to look at those again because you know why? You're not going to be organized enough for them to make sense. You're going to be frustrated when you go back to look over your notes. Here is a tip from me. When you're watching a training video, when you're watching any sort of training video, take a note of the title of the video, put down the time sequence of the video where it's important for you to go watch again. So if you're watching, say you're watching the replay on this and stop saying I can't and believe that you are. That's the title of the video. That's what it's going to be forever. You want to go back and watch the piece where I'm talking about something specific from minute 2 to minute 7. That's the notes that you should take. The name of the course, the name of the video, and then the minute length of what's important. So that way you don't have to go and watch 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, again, to try to find it. That is a much better use of your time than taking notes. I don't even know why I got on that tangent, but I did. Oh, getting organized, that's why. If you're saying to yourself, if you're sitting in the seat of self-judgment, you may find yourself saying, I just can't get it. Everyone else seems to be getting it right. If you're sitting in a seat of self-judgment saying, I just can't get it. One, you're sitting in the seat of self-judgment. You're saying I can't, which is you're choosing not to. And three, you're comparing yourself probably to everybody else. You might be comparing your content. You might be comparing your conversations. You might be comparing your videos. You're comparing something to others and you're saying, I just can't get it right. Now, I feel you on that because I feel like I just can't get it right when it comes to short form videos, keeping people engaged, telling a good story. I just haven't been able to find, in my opinion, the right formula that works for me. That was before. However, now when I create short form videos, I have an idea of what I want to talk about. I press record and I just talk. That's what works for me. So I can't, this is me before, sitting in a seat of judgment of myself. I can't create engaging videos. I can't create short form videos that bring people into my ecosystem. That was me. Now I don't create short form videos the way other people suggest I should because it doesn't flow naturally for me. So I create videos the way I want, and that is a solid representation of who I am as a person. So I get out of the seat of judgment. Now I still go back and forth with the short form videos, whether they're good, whether they're not, whatever. But I don't mind doing them. They're just not my favorite thing to do. And I could go on and on about examples of what you can say you can't do. All right, I will. So I'll touch upon this. In my experience, the people that I work with who have been diagnosed with anxiety, so your internal alarm system is constantly going off. That's what anxiety is. They have such limiting beliefs over the things that they can't do because of the internal stress and chaos that they feel as a result of their internal alarm system going, you're in danger. That's a simplistic form of what anxiety is. But that's all it really is. It's your internal alarm system going off, telling you're in danger. So people, I do a lot of word and statement reframing with people who have anxiety because I find they're some of the biggest culprits of the I can't self-judgment. Very common one is, I can't go to the food store. No, you can. You have a car. You can walk. The food store is open. So you can go to the food store. You're choosing not to because it makes you feel uncomfortable. So again, it doesn't necessarily mean you have anxiety if you're sitting in a seat of self-judgment. Doesn't mean that. It just means that something about this thing makes you uncomfortable, so you choose not to do it. And you choose not to do it by saying I can't. And again, I could go on and on all night about and bore you to death with 1,000,001, but I think you get the gist of it. When you sit in the seat of self-judgment, you find yourself saying I can't, blah, 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 whatever it is. When you say the word I can't, besides the fact that you are judging yourself and limiting yourself from success, limiting yourself from achieving what it is you want to achieve, you are also giving away your power to something else. You are giving away your power to your own inner critic that is sitting in self-judgment. If you, for example, if you are absolutely, I have never stayed at a job that I felt devalued. I have never stayed at a job where I couldn't work with, it was usually supervisors. I've left 2 jobs for that. It's not like I'm a habitual, I can't work with you. When I was just out of high school, I worked at a local drugstore and I had for being so young, I had a pretty good position. I was like a supervisor at like age 17 or whatever. And everything ran smooth. The store was fantastic. My coworkers were fantastic. We had so much fun. It was within walking distance of my house. I don't remember if he was the manager of the store or whatever he was, but he came in and he was so arrogant. He was so condescending. He was miserable to work with. We got shit done. The customers loved us. We had regular customers all the time. Like, we got stuff done. We had a lot of fun, but we got stuff done. The store ran beautifully. There was never money missing, like none of that stuff. He came in and he was so miserable to work for. Within 2 months, I was gone. I'm like, this job just isn't working for me anymore. I am 18 years old and I will not tolerate being spoken to by this 40-something-year-old man. It's not going to happen. So I left, went and got another job. The other job I got laid off from because the company closed. So then I was a nanny, went to college, blah, blah, blah. So a couple years ago, to gain more experience in my brick and mortar business, I went to work at our local hospital and didn't loved the job, but I loved my coworkers. Loved my coworkers. But supervisor changed, and the workplace became not so desirable, and I felt like if I stayed there, my professional license was going to be on the line for reasons that were not justified. So I left. And I'm not an advocate for people to just job hop, but if there is something in your life that is, and I'll get back to the I can't after this, if you're working somewhere and it's a toxic environment, I certainly understand there are some people that are in areas and working, there's very limited resources and all that stuff. I understand that. But if you're in a position where you can leave and there's an abundance of jobs, there's abundance of places to work, you have options, get out. Don't stay working in a toxic environment for any reason. Find a way. And I think that's why a lot of people are starting to come online, is because they want to work for themselves. They don't want to punch a time clock. They don't want to be cubicle warriors. I think my coach said that today, cubicle warriors, and I loved it. So had I said I can't for that first job when I was 18, had I said, I can't leave, I'm a supervisor, I've been here for 2 years. I think it was like 16 when I got the job. If I had said, I can't leave, I can't find another job, what would that have done? I would have been absolutely miserable. My job performance would have suffered for that. My work ethic would have suffered for that. My interactions with the customers would have suffered for that, because it was a drugstore that I worked for. And my overall health and well-being would have suffered, because I would have sat there and said, I can't get another job. I can't leave. When you find yourself saying, I can't, you are judging yourself. You are sitting in a seat of self-judgment, and you are preventing yourself from even going after your goals in life. You're preventing yourself. Saying I can't saps your power, and it leaves you feeling powerless. So whenever you say you can't do something, you are reinforcing that message in your mind that you can't do it. I know that some of the things that you can't do are big, emotional, tricky problems. You may want to talk to someone about those. You may want to join my mindset mastermind, where we go over those things in pretty good depth. You may want to seek out someone where you live, a counselor, a coach, someone to talk to if you find yourself constantly reinforcing that message of I can't. Because again, sometimes it can be pretty deep-seated. Do I have the skill set and knowledge to help you with that? Absolutely, I do. 20 plus years. So to change an I can't into a can, you might need to get more information. So if you're trying to learn a new system for online business, say your friend or your coach is recommending this system, rather than saying, oh, I can't learn how to do that, ask them to jump on a call with you, do a screen share. Times when I'm not sure how to do something, my coach Nate, he will create like a short little, I don't remember what he uses, but like a little short video, like a video clip, and he'll show me the steps and he'll send it to me. So that way I have it, I can pause it, I can go do it, I can put, so then I always have it. So if I need to, a Loom video, ask them to do that. Be like, I'm not really quite sure about this. Or when I was getting ready to purchase my editing software, the person I purchased it from praised it. They've been using it. They loved it. They were like, awesome. This is what you need. And they did. We jumped on just a quick minute call, like a 10-minute call. And they shared their screen and they walked me through it. They showed me just the basics, but they showed me like, here's what you can do, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yes, all right. Seeing that in action, that's exactly what I want. So in order to turn a can't into a can, get more information. Get more information from a book, get more information from a website, get more information from people that you may know, YouTube videos, like all that stuff. Another thing you can do to turn a can't into a can is build up your confidence. Build up your confidence by taking small steps. Don't go big or go home. Small steps. I would much rather see you do one micro change consistently versus not doing anything at all. Sitting in the I can't, sitting in the self-judgment seat. I would much rather you try something small, achieve some success, build up some self-confidence. So say you're starting an online business and you've got to create content, have an online business. Sorry to tell you all, you need to create content. Short form video content is the hottest commodity right now for an online business owner. But if you're sitting in a seat of self-judgment, you're thinking, oh, I can't hit record. I can't hit record. You actually can. You just take your finger, there's a big red button, and you press it and it records. So you can. You can make a short form video. However, it may seem uncomfortable. So you're sitting in a seat of self-judgment. You're saying, I can't go on video. Ma, I can't create those. I'm gonna look stupid. Who cares? Who cares? You are judging yourself. So are you looking at other people's videos and going, oh my God, they look so stupid? If you're doing that, then that's why you're thinking other people are gonna think you're stupid. You're self-judging and you're judging others. So you can. See? Finger, bloop, red button. Record. Haha, it's magical. What you can do to overcome that so your online business will grow, record it on your phone. Who the hell's going to see it? You're going to see it. If you're not comfortable creating a video live, or if you're not comfortable creating it on a different platform, create it on your phone. Play around with different gadgets. Play around with different, what are they called? Apps. The CapCut is a really popular one. You can put different captions. Captions, that's what I was looking for. You can put different captions, different colors of the captions. You can time how they come out. Like, you can do all this fun stuff. Create a video on your phone and play around with it. Get used to hearing your voice, because what you hear is not what other people hear. You realize that. Like, your voice, what it sounds like to you, is not what it sounds like to other people. Everyone's always, oh, I don't like the sound of my voice. I never knew that I had such a strong Boston accent until I started creating videos. And then I would watch them and I'd be like, oh my God, my Boston came out. Well, that's a little bit New York, but my Boston came out. I got a kick out of that. I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, oh, now that's why people who meet me, they're like, oh, you're from Boston. You can freaking hear it. But when I'm listening to my voice inside of my head talking out, I can't hear it because I've been listening to it from the inside out my whole life. But when I watch my videos, I'm like, wow, that's Boston right there. That's my Boston voice. So here's another trick to create content to get comfortable on camera and no one's going to see it yet. Create a dummy Facebook group. Just create a dummy Facebook group. Go live in it. No one's ever going to watch it unless you invite people to it. That's your private little house. Consider that like your private studio, your private practice studio. Go live in there. Practice editing the videos. Play around with it. Get comfortable with it. But God damn it, don't do that forever. Do that maybe 4 times and then hit record and go live. Go live when you can. Just go live. You can do it. But turning can't into can, it takes practice. It takes you being absolutely sick of being comfortable where you are to get uncomfortable enough to get out of that. That's what it takes. Build up that confidence. Take small steps, small little micro wins. Build your online business. Learn the tools, learn the strategies. For you on Facebook, you know what I'm talking about. But for you on TikTok, the programs that I use, the courses that I use to learn how to build an online business teaches me skills, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is I want to promote. It doesn't matter what it is I want to sell, promote, same thing. The skills I'm learning to build an online business are adaptable regardless of what it is that you're selling. You want to create your own products and you want to sell them? Absolutely can help you with that. If you want to sell other people's products, absolutely can help you with that. Doesn't matter. But take small steps. Take small steps. But it is crucial if you want something different in life to get out of the can't and get into the can. Become more determined. Perhaps by finding a group of like-minded people. If you're in the online space, join people's Facebook groups, join different groups, connect with people, have conversations. That way you can ask them questions. Now guys, this is for everyone on TikTok. So I'm directly talking to you guys on TikTok right now. If you are interested in starting an online business and you ask someone a question and their response is, just follow my link. Go find someone else. Go find someone else who is going to answer your question, right? Now, someone's not going to want to answer your question for 3 months. However, if you have questions and you're not yet ready to buy, maybe you're not quite sure about what it is that you want to do, find someone who is willing to answer your questions. Now, for everyone who's doing Facebook organic marketing, they're doing it on Facebook, which is why they say, come over and join my group. We have free guides. We have free trainings. I go live in my group. I do these. You can ask me questions in the group. You can ask other group members questions, all for free. So you can really be confident that if you're in my group, for instance, you can be really confident that I'm someone that you align with. I'm someone that you vibe with. And if I'm not, you go find someone else. If I don't have what you're looking for, you go find someone else. I'm the only one in my coaching group that is doing mindset. Everyone else is doing different things. I'm mindset. It's what I've been doing my whole entire life. It's what I love. But I'm learning the skills to build an online business that is going to be sustainable. It's going to be sustainable. I promote a lot of things. The number one thing I promote is myself. So find a community, find a bunch of people, and the number one thing you have to do to get out of the seat of self-judgment, to stop saying I can't and start saying I can. Now listen up, everyone. Listen up. Put your hearing aids on. Give me all your ears. Give me all your attention. The one thing that is the most important thing you do to go from can't to can is you must admit that you are all that's holding you back. You are all that's holding you back. Let that sink in for a second. To stop saying I can't, the number one thing you have to do is admit to yourself that the only thing holding you back is you. First thing, admit that. Then figure out why. Ask yourself why. Did someone tell you that you couldn't when you were growing up? Did a coach tell you that you couldn't? Did a coach tell you that you weren't good enough? Did someone tell you that you weren't good enough? Did a boss tell you that you weren't good enough? Did a life partner tell you that you weren't good enough? Hopefully they're a previous life partner, not a current one. Where did that self-judgment come from? Where did the I can'ts come from? Where'd they come from? That, where they came from, and the I can'ts, that is the emotional trash can that we're all carrying around. Like, picture, this is us, carrying around this big emotional sack of trash on our shoulders. And you wonder why you have a headache, you wonder why your neck hurts, you wonder why your shoulders hurt. You're carrying this around, and it's filled with shit that other people gave you. You didn't ask for it, you didn't ask for it. Figure out all that stuff, and then you will understand where the seat of self-judgment came from and what is contributing to you currently saying I can't versus I can. That's what I got for. If you are interested in working with me a little bit more closely, I do have a monthly subscription. It's a mindset mastermind. Go really heavy in there. You can ask the members. Went really heavy on Monday. We can work a little bit more specifically tailored to them. I do have very limited one-on-one seats available if people want to do that. But if you want to come and work with me, there's those two options. I do also too have just a very simplistic free course that people can check out and just see if building an online business is right for them, if it's something that they want to do. It's 100% free. So there's a lot of options that you can do to get out of the I can't into the I can. And it is my mission to continue to have a global reach and to help as many people as possible to get out of cubicle warrior. I think that's what Flip called it today, the cubicle warriors, something like that. It has been my mission since 2006 to help as many people as possible get out of being employees and get into being entrepreneurs. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. But can you do it? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Yes, you can. If you have the ability to get out of the seat of self-judgment, the I can't, that you are what is standing in your way, you can acknowledge that, then you can get out of the can't and you can get into the I can. So yeah, so that's that, everyone. All right. Good night, everyone.